Hi, I'm Wendy McGuinness. I'm from New Zealand. I am Chief Executive of a little think tank called Sustainable Future Institute based in Wellington. We've been in existence since about 2004, but before that I was involved in chair of the Sustainable Development Reporting Committee for the New Zealand Institute of Chartered Accountants. So integrated reporting has been sort of a lifeblood for me for at least sort of 10 or 15 years. The reason why I think it's really important is that people need to make quality decisions, and part of making quality decisions, besides having really good decision makers, is making sure that they've got the information on the table. So for me, integrated reporting delivers the information upon which decision makers can make great decisions, and I believe really strongly that the world needs to do that. I want to put forward two ideas about how I think that could emerge or develop in the future. I have a view that governments, although extremely important, will actually become less a player in this in the future. And what I mean by that is that like in New Zealand, a lot of our legislation is actually, some of our legislation has already been predetermined by the treaties that we've signed. So I see, for example, as things become more interconnected and more global, and small countries like New Zealand will not be alone in this, we will need to respond and act accordingly within the global market. So what I'm thinking about at the moment is the fact that we could actually not go for the model of a central government agency ruling the planet. I don't think there's an appetite for that. What I see emerging is perhaps more of a cobweb approach, and the way I like to think about it is that lots of organisations that have a vested interest in a specific area kind of group together in a loose network that sort of creates kind of like a cobweb. And my vision for that is that we have the planet and we throw all these cobwebs from a whole lot of different things, and integrated reporting is one such cobweb. And these cobwebs create what I think of as like a trampoline effect around the planet. And if you know about a trampoline, it bounces really well, it's really robust and it's very strong. And I see that as sort of an emerging way that the planet can be sustainable and succeed in the long term. Now, instrumental to that in regard to sort of digging deeper into integrated reporting and how I see that could happen, brings two elements to it. First, I think that we're going to need to support and upgrade the institutions that we currently have. We're still going to need a reporting framework, organisation that is global and sets reporting standards for integrated reporting. We're also going to need, independent of that, sort of a verification audit assurance institution that's going to be up to the level and set the standard in regard to independent verification. And we're also going to need, and I think this is, I haven't heard a lot discussed about it, but I think there's going to have to be a global filing institution. And what I'm looking for in that is that, like in New Zealand, 25%, only just over 25% of our top 200 companies are actually on the stock exchange. So the rest are largely invisible in regard to New Zealand. So what I mean is we've got a lot of multinationals that are operating around the world, and we need to be able to capture them. And I think that we need some sort of global register for those organisations that have a lot of significant impact on the future of the planet. And I suppose I think of the 80-20 rule, we need to capture the 20% of those organisations that is absolutely significant multinationals, and we need a central registering system so that integrated reports are actually registered. So I see that as something that we should be thinking about and how that could evolve. And so I'm sort of, for example, it might be that the top 20,000 multinationals in the world are on this register. They have to report what's already publicly available information. I think of it as the low-hanging fruit. There isn't a massive compliance cost because they're already providing it. They're just providing that public information in all these little areas all around the place. but instead they would actually have to register basically any environmental issues, pollutants. They'd have their company registers, their perhaps their situations like health and safety, mining disasters, just the significant ones, significant organisations and the significant impacts, so that it's centralised. And it's not about integration, it's really a preliminary stage which is about compiling and registering information about these entities so they're no longer invisible, so that stakeholders can actually find out who and what they are. So I sort of see that as something that we should be thinking about and working towards. So in another idea that I have around this is a way that small countries could actually really add value is, and I'm speaking to all those small countries out there, that we could create kind of a concept of a green union, where equivalent to a European Union, but a green union is where you set a set of standards upon which upon which countries can actually engage in the process of becoming and moving towards a more, if you like, green vision for the planet. Small countries provide a little, if you like, experimental ground for policy, and I don't think it's been used enough by big countries. Little countries are not sort of considered as great places to have a look, but it's a bit like having a look to see actually what small countries are doing, and that could create an example for big countries to have a look at. So the concept of a green union could be that there is, they have a mandatory compliance filing system. They could actually have lots of other things like a sustainable development national strategy or national sustainable development strategy, depending on which term you like. They could have all sorts of other sort of reporting mechanisms, indicator reporting. They could have carbon trading mechanisms, standards, goals, whatever. And you can sort of imagine that countries would like to belong to this green union, because they could then develop special trading and innovative ideas sharing and technologies, so there is an incentive to do that. But it also provides a way of small countries to actually show how exciting, wonderful things can be done to make the planet a better place. So those are two ideas I just wanted to bring to this discussion. So thank you. I'm just going to conclude now. One of the questions is, what is your personal commitment to making this happen? I think it's really important that we individually try and deliver what we possibly can to this wider debate. Clearly, no idea is going to be the right idea, but together I really feel that we can really thrash ideas around to develop a really great way forward. So I'd really like to take my hat off to the IIRC in being established in this year 2010, and with the leadership that Robert Eccles has done in creating this workshop. I think it's a really terrific initiative and a great initiative of the Harvard Business School, and I really just say congratulations and go for it. Cheers.